And welcome everyone. So Candace, you have as much time as you want. Usually try and like keep it to an hour, but yeah,
Oh, wow.
super excited. Well, you can go shorter if you want, because I think we're going to open it up for questions after, if that's okay with you. And you
Okay.
guys can go ahead and chat on the side if you want. So go ahead and take it away.
Wait a second. Where do you want me to start? Will you tell me, do you want me to tell anything about before my backstory or what?
Yeah, I think that would be great. I think that's really important to know. Yeah, this is cool. I have many calls with Candace in her pajamas, which is a sports bra and underwear.
I literally just woke up from a nap. Cody's like, "Are you really gonna get on a call right now? You literally just opened your eyes."
Yeah. Well, and I just told everybody, I don't think you could hear me, that I've done so many calls with you in your bra and underwear.
Yeah. You know what? Doesn't really matter. Perks of working at home, right? Did you say yes to backstory or not?
Yes, please.
Okay. So hello. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited. I'm always down for the opportunity to practice speaking and growing and learning. And so you guys are really lucky to have Mary. She's really awesome. She's kind of been with me since day one, since I started to be serious about my business. So just know that she's important to me. So I was excited when she asked me to speak for you guys. So before I started coaching, I worked a lot of different jobs. I worked mostly receptionist, desk, cubicle type office secretary jobs. And I was really bored. I was always searching for something more. I would start working and then I would learn everything there was to learn at the job. And then I'd be like, hey, now what? And that's why coaching is also really cool to me, because we never stop learning and things are always transforming and changing and growing. So it keeps us constantly engaged. But also a huge part of my story is that Cody's sitting right here. So I'm like, he took a job that was out of town because he was let go from his previous job that we had actually both worked at. I worked there for 4 years. It was kind of one of those jobs where you're comfortable and then, you don't really look for anything more because, you're comfortable. So that's that. But I was comfortable in our cycle of struggle. So he took a job out of town and it was a huge hit on our relationship. For the first probably year, we kind of just made it happen and we pretended like nothing was wrong. It was fine. Everything was good. I remember seeing people in town and they would ask me, isn't it so hard? Oh my God, I could never do it. And I'd be like, no, it's great. It's fine. Because I don't want to talk about it because what do you say? Yeah, it sucks. I'm sad all the time. I cry every time he leaves, So fast forward a little bit. I didn't want that life anymore. I didn't want it. I didn't want to struggle. I didn't want to not have money to do things. I didn't want to, be behind in bills all the time. I didn't want to be drowning in debt. When we got married, we never even had a honeymoon because, it's expensive. I mean, I'm sure you guys know if you're married or not, vacations alone are expensive. So we didn't really do a lot of stuff like that. We tried to make it work. And I found my coach on social media and I was just like, this girl shows up and she's happy and she likes her job. I was like, nobody likes their job. That's just what I thought, nobody likes their job. It's not real. But I was intrigued because I was like, because she didn't stop. So I followed her and I followed her and I followed her. And I waited an entire year before I actually even decided to do this thing, which is crazy to me. And I kicked myself in the ass for that every single time that I waited. But I let the opinions and the skepticism of other people keep me from doing something that I knew would make my life better. So I was a different type of coach to come into this opportunity because I wanted that full life transformation. I didn't have a ton of weight to lose. It wasn't all about the fitness and the health. Can you mute that? Thank you. Sorry, I'm like squirrel. I didn't have a lot of weight to lose. So, a lot of people come into this because they're, interested in the fitness and health aspect. I thought that'd be cool. I'd never stuck to a fitness routine, an eating plan, anything ever before in my entire life, so I was a chronic quitter. So I remember when I first started, Cody was just like, you're not gonna, do this. It's just gonna be another thing, another bill we take on. We really can't afford it. And you're not gonna do it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. Cause I saw that big vision of what this business could do for me. And it could get me out of that spot that I felt stuck. And I only knew I could because I saw other coaches do it, you know? So I was like, okay, like we can actually change our life if I just show up and do the work. And not a lot of people were down with that in the beginning when I started. You know, my parents were like, okay, this is weird. My dad told me it was a scam. Most of my friends were like, whatever, cool, that cute little coaching thing that you're doing, you know, whatever, you just drink shakes. So it's not like I had a lot of support in the beginning, but I had that huge vision of how I wanted my life to be. And I just knew that I didn't want to stay the same anymore. So I had to do stuff that was different, right? So fast forward, you know, I jumped in, and now we've been living in an RV for like almost 3 years. I think we're almost to our 3-year anniversary in March. And, you know, I honestly never thought that we would live together again before coaching because it was too expensive. It was too, I didn't see a way out. I just thought, I'm going to hate my job. I'm going to get old. I'm going to get sick, and I'm not going to feel good. And I'm already going down this path of like not liking myself and my body. And that's just how life was, because that's all I ever saw anyone around me do, was just struggle and just hate the life that they were doing. And I had this moment when I was a new coach. I realized I had been taking advice from all the wrong people. You know, I look around and I tell my team now, I'm like, what life do you want? Because the people that you're letting dictate your decisions and the things that you do or the things that you don't do are people that live a life that you don't even want. So why are you listening? And I'm not saying that, don't respect other people's opinions. Like, that's cool. But do what you want to do anyways and model your actions after someone that has something that you desire. I hope that makes sense, because that changed the game for me, because so many people had an opinion and they had something to say about me becoming a coach and the way I should do things and the way I should have social media and what I should post and what I should talk about and what I shouldn't talk about. And I had to let it go in one ear and out the other, because they weren't living the life that I wanted. No shame to, their choices or their life, but like, I wanted more and I knew I deserved more, just like everyone does. We deserve to live whatever type of life we want, disclaimer, we're willing to work for. We deserve that. And that's what coaching can do for us. Mary wanted me to talk a little bit about, I think, social media and just me and, how I view it. I don't know how I've built this business. I talked to my team today, kind of coming off of the New Leader Conference. Obviously, everyone's kind of on fire and stuff. If you guys were there, it was pretty cool. Something that really stood out to me was how much they focused on branding, because that's something I've always had a lot of fun with in the beginning of this business. So I don't really feel like I ever struggled with it, because I've always been super intrigued and curious to know like who I am and what I'm about. And when I see people doing things, I try to do something different. And I went live at my team page today and I talked to them about, themselves and deciding, what is your brand? Who are you? And I think that is the most important. Do you have muting capabilities, Mary? I can't mute that. There, thank you. I think figuring out who you are and what you stand for and what you even like, is the most important thing. A lot of people tell me on my team page, like, I don't have anything to post about. My life is boring. And I'm like, well, you need to get a life then. And I literally just told them that today. And I'm like, and I don't mean that rudely. I mean, like, you're obviously living in your comfort zone. You're not doing anything different. So even you're bored of yourself. And if you're bored of yourself, I guarantee you people around you are bored. So I told them, I was like, what if I told you you can't post about fitness anymore? Not saying that like we are not going to do it, but maybe your social media can't revolve around it. Unless fitness has always been your thing and that is your huge passion. I just know when we come into this business, we're like, hey, we're fitness, we eat the foods and we drink a shake, and then we all start doing all those things. And that's not different than anyone else. And I'm not saying we shouldn't do them. I just feel like for our social media, we kind of have to, and I'm guilty, I have to say, like, I am the worst. When I get lazy with this business, I'm like, did my workout today. It was great. Used 10 pounds. I get lazy like that, and I'll post that stuff, but then I have to snap myself out of it. I'm like, snack, because we're on 80-day obsession right now, right? It's all about food. I have to smack myself out of it and be like, okay, you're being lazy. You're not sharing your story. People don't relate to the fact that you got up and did your workout at 5. Like, nobody cares. You know what I mean? But I love to post that. So I still try to work that into my story. So like I was telling my team today, which I think is a great analogy, when Country Heat first came out, everyone was like, yeah, country, you know, and I was like, cool, I'm going to go get a flannel and I'm going to get a cowgirl hat and I'm going to get shorts and I'm going to get all this, you know, boots. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to play the part. And then I was like, cool. And then I thought about it and I was like, that sounds lame, you know, nothing against that style, because I think it's adorable. I love it, but it's not me. So if I was to do that, it would be really inauthentic and it would basically be like everyone else was doing, because it wasn't me. And I was like, okay, so let me just stop. How can I make this fun? How can I like it? And how can I make it me? And I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to change out the music, like right quick with some like rap or something. I did that. And then I wore a tutu. I wore whatever I wanted. I played with my dog. You know, I totally made it fun and I had fun. So I knew people were having fun watching me because I was cracking myself up. And I just think that's a good example of, in this business, it's easy to see everybody do something and then everyone starts doing it and then it spreads like wildfire. And then if anyone's on social media and they're scrolling, it's like all these coaches posting the same stuff. And that's one of my fears, is I never want to just blend in and be that person that's just like everybody else. And the cool thing about this business is that we don't have to, because they 100% encourage us to be ourselves. And I think we lose that because we get in the habit of like shake, workout, reading books, eating food, which are the things that we all do, which is great. But I still think it's important to find like, I have like 5 bullet point things that I try to cycle through that are strictly about me. And yes, fitness is in there, but it's only really like this much of who I really am, you know? So I hope that makes sense. I just feel like it's really important to see something, like, for instance, when everyone gets like a Success Club prize and then everyone posts a picture of it and they're like, I got this new hat, you know what I mean? And that's great. Like, we all have it though. So then I'm scrolling through my newsfeed and I see coach after coach after coach, workout, hat, food, workout, work, you know, and I'm like, like, that's cool and stuff, but like, it's boring. And I personally think it's boring. Everything I say is just my personal opinion. I'm not saying anything that anyone is doing is wrong. I'm just saying that this is what's helped me, and maybe something might click for you. So today I was scrolling my Facebook and I'm looking at every like random people on my team, and everyone's just posting like day 2 out of whatever, or not 2, what are we on, like 28 or something out of 80. And I'm like, okay, cool. But then there's no story with it. And I realized maybe a month or 2 ago that that wasn't working on social media anymore. People do not care that I work out. They don't care. Anytime I post, cares. I get no engagement on it, nothing. I'm like, okay, well, I like posting that for my own accountability. For one, that's like the reason I even started this business, was because I never stuck to anything in my life. I need public eyes on me because that fuels my fire to keep going. So I sat back and I'm like, this isn't working. What can I do to change it? So I get all fun and creative with my photos still, but now instead of being like, did my workout, I start sharing something from that list that I made. So for me, the things that are different about me, I feel, and the things I love Poshmark. I don't know if you know, it's a shopping app. I'm obsessed with it. I talk about it all the time. I talk about it with my team. We're always all on there like, look at this deal we just got. And I find like coaches on there because I make friends with people easily doing something that I love. So that's part of my brand. I ship things all the time. I teach people how to sell things online like that way. And that's part of my brand. So that's one thing that I love. I just made this list today just because it's constantly changing too. Because as you grow and, you know, your brand changes, you change, you know, maybe you mature, maybe you take on a new hobby. So it's not like this wasn't me from the beginning, but this is me now. And RV living, obviously, like that's a big one. I realized, okay, well, people don't care about my fitness, so maybe I'm going to post my fitness picture because I like that for me. And it's visually appealing and it goes with my brand and it's still what I'm about. And they know I'm still doing the shit, but I'm not talking about my workout. Like, they don't care to hear what I did and how many burpees I did. They really don't care. I mean, it's obvious. Maybe some people do, but you know. So I started talking about my fertility journey one day. I just like, let's see how this goes. And I was like, so I don't use birth control, you know, whatever catchy tagline to make people read it. And then I told the story of that. And at the very end, I was like, by the way, day 2 out of 80, check. You know, like this much was about the workout, but the rest of it was about my story. And it blew up. And it gave people a place where other people were talking to other people on my posts, because I was just being me, sharing, you know, and I'll work in little things about coaching here and there, but it changed the game for my social media because I was like, why does no one talk to me? Why does no one care what I'm doing? You know, we go through all those questions in our head when we post something, we have no engagement. We're like, I suck. I should quit. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what I mean? I mean, we all have those questions where we're like, does no one care? And it's just, I mean, either they're not seeing it or it's just not something that they can engage with. So when I started pulling from like my actual life and the things I was going through, I noticed a huge shift in engagement and people talking to me. And it took me a while to like find what was working, but I kept trying new things because I was tired of not, you know, progressing and moving forward. So I talk a lot about my personality because I'm a super nerd about, you know, knowing like introvert stuff and, you know, empath and just knowing like personality. So especially like scientific facts, I really like that. So I share that stuff. And then the fitness and wellness food is like one category, like boop, in there too, you know, not like a huge thing because that's, you know, like I've said a million times, like that's not like, that's the same as everyone else. Everybody posts that. So mine are relationship and work, being a wife, that's one. RV living is one. Poshmark and shopping is 3 because I absolutely love that. I could talk about it all day. So I'm like, okay, if I love it, other people probably do. Introversion and stuff like that. And then the fitness, you know, coaching, food, all that. And anytime I talk about any of the other stuff, I still work coaching into it, like very little tips. You know, I don't, but it's not all about that. And then obviously throwing business opportunity posts are cool in there. Let me read my notes. Something I always like to tell my team too is that we duplicate, we don't replicate. So I love to go to other coaches for inspiration, but I don't copy them. If I see someone doing something and I'm like, that's a great idea, I'm not going to turn around and do like the exact same thing because that's not me. You know, so it's cool to like get ideas, but then like think, how can I do this better? Or how can I do this more like on brand with me? That's been a game changer too. Cause like I said, like you want to stand out. You don't want to be the same as everyone else. Cause why would someone want to join you when they can join any coach that does all the same stuff? Right. So I think that it gets easy in this business. I see it on my team a lot to hide from sharing the real stuff. I don't know why. Maybe we just get in the habit. And again, like I'm the first to say that I'll be lazy and then I'll just start reverting back to like the fitness stuff. I mean, it's easy to do. What else do you want me to elaborate on, Mary?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Does anybody have any questions? You covered so much, and I love the 5 pillars. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of those. Is that kind of where you got that idea from for the 5?
Yeah, they who said that? Someone like, I think it was Kim, broke it down like really well at New Leader Conference. And it's kind of cool to like hear the things that I already do, but like taught out. And we called them passion points back like in my very first coach training group. We just called them like passion points. And then we, you know, picked 5 things out about us. But back in the day, mine was like food, fitness, you know, like working from home. But it's like now I want to dig deeper into, you know, my personality and who I am so I can connect with a wider audience. Side note on that, one thing that Bonnie also said at leadership that I thought, or New Leader Conference, was really cool is to craft your hashtags related to things that you're doing in your life right now. So like I mentioned before, I was talking about my fertility journey, or, you know, anti-pregnancy journey, I call it. People think that's funny, but so using hashtags that are related to that, because then I can find other people that are also doing things like that. And when the girl told me today, she was like, she said it before I could say, you know, you have to step out of your comfort zone and do things that are new to you so you can talk about them, because when you do new things that are uncomfortable, you grow and you change, and that's inspiring for people to follow. So if you feel like you're boring or you feel like you don't have anything to share, you just have to do different things, you know, because like you're probably just living in your comfort zone. And I told her today when she said, I don't have anything to post about. And I'm like, well, it sounds like you just need to get out and live your life a little bit more. You know, like, what do you want to do that scares you? Like, what have you always wanted to try that you're not trying? And it doesn't have to cost money. You know, you can go outside and go for a walk. You can go say hi to 3 strangers and be like, oh my God, I never talked to people. And I just went outside and talked to people and it was so cool. You know, like you could do anything. But I told her, I was like, you know, I didn't exactly want to go get like acupuncture, but I knew with this program, like self-care is like a huge thing. And I wanted to try something new. And I'm like, well, it's covered on my insurance, so I'm going to try it. And I tried it and I gave my review, and people had tons of stuff to say about how cool it was and how they've done it too. And that was uncomfortable for me. But with this business, that's the cool thing, is we're constantly pushed to do things that are uncomfortable. And that's how we grow. You know, that's how we build our confidence and our character. And that's how we connect with new people. So when I did that, I was hashtagging like acupuncture, local acupuncture, you know, things like that were related to that. So I could connect with a whole different audience of people. That's just an example. But I don't remember where I was going with that.
No, that's perfect, because you were talking about crafting hashtags about what you're doing right now. So I think that's awesome. And I think that's a really great way to keep them fresh. You know, a lot of people have lists and lists of hashtags that they just put on whatever. And I remember Bonnie saying something like, guys, if there's a puppy in your picture, don't tag a dolphin. Like, don't hashtag dolphin because you like dolphins. Like, it has to somewhat relate to the content of your post, you know, because if you're going to hashtag, you know, mom life and it has nothing to do with being a mom at that moment, that's dumb. Right. So, yeah, I completely agree with you. So talk to us a little bit about your community, because I know you have a huge wellness community that I don't know if you put everyone in it, everyone that you talk to, if you invite them to the community, but I know you have a huge supportive community as far as that goes.
Yeah, I really liked, I think we did this like 2 or 3 years ago. After one of my summits, I had heard this idea of having an ongoing challenge group, just like a home base for people. And what I had found with my challenge groups prior to that is that I was losing people. I know some people like to have new, fresh ones every month and that works for them. But for me, just having that constant home base ongoing challenge group, which we just call a wellness group, everyone goes into there. And so say they fall off for like 2 months and then they come back, they know that group is still going to be there and they can hop in there and be like, oh, there's a challenge group happening in, next month. Because we always post every month in there. We're like, new challenge group, and we use the app now. So we have this Facebook ongoing wellness group, and then we'll announce like, drop your email if you want to be in like our app challenge. And we talk about everything in there. Like, the last night or the night before, I wrote in there and I was like, hey, I just committed to the Ava ovulation watch thingy to wear at night, because I want to like know about, my stress levels and, preventing pregnancy. And does anyone use this? What do you guys think? And then we're just talking about stuff like that. I could use that publicly too, but it's just kind of cool to have another like little intimate place where people can come and they can feel safe and they can share like whatever they want. It's not just, it's mostly fitness and food. But if someone needs advice or they need something a little more personal, like they always know they can have that one spot that's never going to go anywhere. And there are people in there that haven't ever purchased anything. I mean, sometimes people just want to check it out. I have a huge album section in there that I have like a title for every album, and I put like recipes, Shakeology recipes, and I'll just like put like information. And it's kind of cool because I know that I have all these resources just like I have for my team, for my challengers and the people that I bring on and the people that other people bring on. So when I'm talking about my groups, I'm like, we literally have everything. Like, I feel confident in telling someone I literally have all the tools for you. Like, you're going to buy all your stuff, you're going to have your tools, and then I have even more resources to help you get started off right. Like, any questions you could have, I have everything here. I feel confident in telling them that. So when I'm bringing them into this thing, like, I'm not just like, come in, hang out with us, no, it's women and some men. I mean, I don't approve a man. It's a very like specific man. I'm sure, I don't really talk to any men, but I have like 2, I want to say there's like 2 men in there. Maybe they talk sometimes, but I mean, I'll post anything in there. I don't care. It's not a big deal to me. I mean, we're all people. Let me see, the question was, in your wellness group, do you do a daily post? Honestly, I don't. I tried to like check. I try to check in every single day with something, whether I'm just like, oh my God, you guys, I did my workout today and like these weights killed me and I'm like super sore in like this really weird spot. Like, how does everyone else feel or something? Very basic. I don't have a lot of, I don't have a system. I have a plan. I'm like, how can I say this without sounding like I don't know what I'm doing? A lot of my girls too, I've made them moderators and admin of the group. So I just give them responsibility. Like, hey, this is our group. Sometimes we'll do this fun thing where we'll do like Tarot Card Tuesday, and we'll pick random cards and then have, we'll be like, pick a card that you're drawn to. And there will be like 3 of them and everyone will be like A, B, or C. And then that thing will like take off with comments because everyone likes to do that. And then at the end of the day, we'll post what the readings mean. And sometimes they're like, oh my God, this was so perfect for what I'm going through in life right now. Like, thank you. Or we'll do like, stones, because we like crystals and stuff. And we'll be like, pick one. And then I'll tell you what it is after, whatever you're drawn to. Sometimes we'll do stuff like that. And we just mix it up. I'm not trying to, make it all crazy to have a schedule in there. But I do try to check in and make sure that people know that this is a safe place for them where they can always go. But the challenge groups are we use the app challenge. So there's usually a post a day in that.
I love it. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit, if that's okay. So love your community and your wellness group. And I love the activities that you guys have in there, because that's totally your tribe, right? Like if you have a wellness community, if you have a big page, that's where you do those things that you're talking about, like get out of your comfort zone, do those things that like you like to do. So you're going to attract that back. Right. But I want to know, when you recruit a coach and you have somebody that's working, when you do a social media, what's the word I'm looking for? Audit, I guess.
Yeah, audit.
What are the things that you look for in their social media, whether it's Facebook, Insta, you know, whatever it is? What are the specific things that you look for?
What do I look for? So like a brand new coach, we have trainings. I tell them what to do and stuff, but if they've been working and I go audit their page, I want to see a cover photo that represents them, something that's not just like a picture of their dog. You know, I want to see something that represents them. And I tell them, this is your storefront. This is a business. I need to know who you are, like a little bit about who you are, at least just from that one little glance. Because if I go to someone's page and it's messy, I'm out. And I still do that to this day. I'm like, oh, boring. You know, and maybe they're not, maybe they're really cool, but they just haven't taken the time to sit down and like organize it. I look for clean photos. I tell my coaches this all the time. And I feel like I'm always like doing this because they don't listen. 99% of your pictures need to be of you. Like you need to be in them, not the floor, not the dog, not the ground, not a book, not this, not an output. Not, you know, if I take a book picture, I'm like, you know, or I'm like, I'm not out of the picture because I mean, like, I don't stop for those. So why would someone else? Maybe like back in the day, but like not now. So I think that is the thing I look for most. And I want to know if they're hiding from the camera. Why? One of my girls is like, well, I have bad acne sometimes. And I'm like, that's totally cool. So do I. Sometimes I get it right here. Maybe do this that day. You know, I'm like, or you could like, I'm like, you can make it work, you know, or you can cut off your head and try to be like artsy or something, like whatever, it doesn't matter. But I think it's important to not hide. Like people want to know us. This is the only way through our photos. If we're showing like the floor, like I don't care about that, you know, or address it and say it sucks. It sucks. No. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I've been really trying to help my team focus on their photos right now because it's so important. And I lost my train of thought. I'm like playing the chord over here. What specifically? What do I look for? What do I look for? Bright photos. I look for fun. Their profile picture needs to be like clear. Like if it's like 12 girls, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean? It needs to be like somewhat closer because you need to look approachable. Like if I want to talk to you, you know, it's because that's the first thing that I see. Cause like what I do with my social media is I think of it as like here's me and like there's like a web of hands that I have that I can get into as many different places as I possibly can in different groups, you know, with different hashtags, tracking into different locations, talking to different people, putting my face all over business pages, like maybe like a brand because I'm like, oh my God, this bra is so cute. I want to try it. Talking to all the comments. I just want to get myself everywhere. If my profile isn't on point when they come to check me out and I've friend requested someone, they're going to be like, weirdo, decline, you know, because I have to pique their attention. I have to be clear. I can't have all, you know, like all this low quality photo that they can't tell who I am. They have to be curious. And I feel like that comes with, again, branding and sharing the things that you love. And smiling. I see a lot of people's photos and they're like, I'm like, so you're not having fun? Because I don't know that I would want to do this with you if you're not having fun. You know, what else, Mary?
When you talk about Beachbody products, how do you spin it? Because I know you never talk about this is the program I'm doing. This is the shake that I'm drinking. What do the words sound like for you and your brand for those products?
I feel like I'm in kind of a transition phase right now of my business because of everything that we're learning right now with Insta stories and Instagram, the new hashtags and Facebook. And it's just like everything's changing. I feel like I'm like learning how to do like coaching through all these different social media networks all over again. But as far as keywords, I call them keywords. In the beginning, I found that I was using a lot of Beachbody words and then people were going to Amazon or eBay or whatever and they were just buying it and they weren't talking to me. They were just buying stuff. And then like a month later, they'd be like, I got 21-day fix like you said and this and that and this and now it doesn't work. And this because they didn't get like the whole thing. And I'm just like, oh, and then it's like you have to kind of pick up the pieces and try to like, you know, backpedal with them and fix it. So that was super annoying. That happened to me a lot. So I realized quick that I couldn't give away all the details. And I know that we hear this all the time to create curiosity. So I just would say like home fitness, or I would say instead of Shakeology, I would say like super shake or daily shake. But I don't even focus on a lot of that right now anyways. I still think it's important. I still share it all. I share it all mostly on my Insta story now, just to show like, this is my day. This is what I do all day. And sometimes I might make a post talking about it, but I still feel like if we're sharing who we are and the things that we like, and we're having fun doing what we're doing, and coaching is a part of that, people are going to want to join us based on who we are, not because we drink a shake, we work out. And then obviously sharing the results is cool, because then you have that. And then they're like, how did you do that? You know what I mean? And you're just like, because they already are intrigued with who you are. But yeah, I think keywords are super important. Because then it forces people to talk to you. Then they have to message you and they're like, how did you get those results? Like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, oh my God, this is what I've been doing. And I still don't even drop the words until like they're like in at the end, and we're going to send out the enrollment and stuff, because then they'll, you know, Google it or whatever, unless they straight up ask. I'm not going to hide it, you know, but it just helps in creating way more conversations behind the scenes. So then you can actually create that relationship with people, you know, so they'll trust you, and then you can kind of reel them in that way.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's open it up for questions. Do you guys have any questions for Candace? Go ahead and take yourself off mute, and then go ahead and ask her. Or if you don't want to take yourself off mute, you can chat it.
One thing I noticed, some of the girls, I've had a couple girls that want to work with me, and they'll say, oh my God, do you have a success partner? Blah. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm always down to work with other people. So I'll go peep their page, and I'm like, dude, you don't even look like you're serious about coaching. And I think that that's really important. I think that I want to tell you guys, I audit my social media daily. Might be excessive, but I think it's important to see what's working and what's not working. And am I attracted to what I'm doing? Because if I'm not attracted to the things I'm posting, the things I'm talking about, what I'm doing, guaranteed other people aren't. You know, because if you're not having fun, like they say, like, why would someone want to join you? So I literally audit it every single day. Before I take a picture, I go to my Instagram and I'm like, what does the feed need today? Do I need a close-up? Do I need a far away photo? Do I need a selfie? Do I need, you know, to be in the scenery somewhere? Do I need something bright? Like, I always look to see like what it needs. I think that that's been a really helpful tip. I use Instagram primarily. I don't know what you guys use, but it just is easy for me to see like, okay, like I don't need a transformation. I just did one a couple days ago. And then I like kind of start with the photo first and I get inspired, but I'm totally open to any questions about everything. I'm always like all over the place, but I feel like I kind of know what I'm doing at this point.
How many posts do you do a day on Instagram right now? Like, I know that it's kind of being like, originally it was like 3 to 5, and now people are like, one good post is all you really need. I'm sticking to 2 and then like 10 to 15 Instagram stories. But what do you think about that?
I have like no limit on my Insta story. I will do as many as I want. Depends on what the day is like. If I'm having like ultra fun, I'll just be stupid and do whatever I'm gonna do over there. But as far as Instagram, I know you're right. Everyone's like 3 to 5. Now it's 2. Now it's 1. Now it's this. And you're like, So I'm just trying to see what's working for me so far. I like to do 2 to 3. And just because I really like the way that it looks on my feed when I get to, you know, mix in the colors and make it bright and fun. But sometimes I'll try to be like, I've been trying to play with doing a couple shorter posts and then like one long story one that like, you know, people can engage with. Honestly, I prefer 2 to 3. I feel like 1 is not enough for me. I feel like I would be like not really connecting to my audience. I would feel weird. Like I don't know. And I would want to see more. I feel like if, I don't know, that's kind of hard because we're kind of in a transition stage right now with everything changing. Like you said, you know, we're learning like, okay, now we're not doing anything that we used to do. Let's change it. I would say 2 to 3. That's what I like personally. But if I have a day where I'm just like, I mean, I have done 1. I'm not going to lie. I've done 1 and I'm like, well, better than nothing. But
are you a business or just a personal account?
Business, always business, because you can track the analytics and then on your story, you can see all the stuff too.
Aren't you scared though that it's going to turn into Facebook and that if you don't start buying advertising, they're going to hide you from the world? I'm scared of it.
No.
I'm scared that if I'm a business account that like eventually Instagram's going to turn into Facebook. And if you don't buy all their advertising, they're going to hide you.
Maybe, but you can still always convert when I'm a business, but it says like convert back. Like, so I could, it still lets me go back to a regular account if I needed to. No, I mean, at this point, I mean, I'll have to figure that out if it happens, you know, right now it's working as a business account and I like it that way, but no, I didn't think about that.
I'm like always like, what's going to happen next.
I'll figure it out if it happens.
I love that answer. Like, you can either worry about it now or you can cross that bridge when you get there. You know what I mean? So if it's working, do it.
I always tell my team, I'm like, there's some things like in this business, like we need to know that we're doing right now, but you don't have to try to learn all the things because we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Like you'll need to know about 2-star when we get there, like
Totally.
You'll need to know about the 5-star requirements when we get there. You know what I mean? Otherwise it's just like, too much.
Yeah. So we had a question from Jess. She wants to know how you help your coaches duplicate and build a successful business.
That's a fun question. Duplication, that's like the gold mine right there, right? That everyone's like, how do we do it? We had a corporate call last week, and my take on that is I focus like on creating the relationships with people first. So what I mean is when I look at my leaders and my team, the thing that is the same about all of them with me is that we all are very good friends. Everyone that's a leader on my team is also one of my really good friends. It's someone I know well, I trust, I'm close with, we talk all the time. We have a relationship aside from coaching, and it's not something we had before. It's just something that we've developed. And when I think of lifers and people that are going to stick around and be with me, it's those people, the ones I have the strongest connection and relationship with. And this is what I told Brittany Adamson 2 weeks ago, is that I feel like when people are that invested in you and you're that invested in them and you have that relationship, like those people aren't just going to up and quit and leave because they are invested, like emotionally. We're like in a relationship, right? I mean, we are. And that's been the game changer. Like I was scratching my head years ago, like how do I create a community? How do I create that culture? How do I create people that are friends on my team? Because no one talked in the beginning. I'm like, this is really weird. Like I have a team page, I post stuff, they talk to me, but they don't talk to each other. So I kind of had to create that relationship and then bring other people into it and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, so-and-so does that too. And then kind of like connect people. It's kind of like playing like matchmaker. But then the more that they got to know each other, the more they liked each other. And then the more they hang out and then more, and it just kind of exploded from there. I really think the relationship building is huge. And sometimes some of my coaches will struggle. Like one of my girls going through a divorce right now. And she crushes her business, but I message her and I'm like, how are you? Like all business aside, like that's first and foremost. How are you as a person? We can't forget that, yes, this is a business, but we're people and we go through like real life people stuff too. And that's important. And I think that's a huge game changer, just having that connection with people. I hope that helps. I mean, you can have any system and you can have any training. I mean, we all have access to all the same stuff in the Coach Online office. We have amazing YouTube as a resource. Like we can learn anything we want to learn. Like what really keeps people here, Like it's not the training and the systems, it's the relationships and it's the trust and it's, your ability to step up as a leader and do the scary shit first and then share it with people and show them like, hey, I didn't die. You can do it. I really think that is the key to a solid foundation of a team, if that makes sense. And I post on Facebook the same stuff I post to Instagram. I was just talking the other day. I'm like, I have this like robot brain. I'm like, everything is the same everywhere. But I feel like Facebook is different and Instagram is different. And I haven't treated them like they're different yet, but I need to, because that's goals. That's like where I'm moving right now, is try to transition from treating both social media platforms the same, because they don't work the same at all. And a lot of the stuff, sometimes I post things on Instagram and they work great. And then on Facebook, they're like, so I'm like, okay, got to figure that out. I'm learning every day. I'm doing something different. Something I did yesterday that worked awesome, like sucks today. And I'm like, but that's just how this business goes, right? What if you've done everything on your personal feed? Do you convert it to a biz account? Yeah, it saves everything. It just converts your account on Instagram, if that's what you're talking. And you can put it back if you're like, abort, I don't like this. You can go back to a regular account. Where are you connecting? What do you mean by connecting? Do you mean like finding people? Yes, finding people.
Shannon, you can take yourself off mute, love, if you want to clarify with your coaches.
Where are you connecting
Yeah,
with your
she was
coaches?
talking about building relationships, and that is one place where I struggle, is with really building the relationships. I tend to kind of coach with the megaphone from above and post things and create documents and do all this stuff, and I'm not as good at the one-on-one. And I don't have as much participation as I'd like. I do have a couple threads going where we do chat more, but I was just curious when you said at first it was quiet and then you started forming these relationships and inviting others in. I was just curious where you were doing that. Is it on your page? Is it in private messages, on the phone? What?
In private messages, on the phone, on video chats, texting. The people that show up, like I always tell them, I will meet you, with whatever effort you're giving me. So if there's like a coach that's like all in 100%, we text all the time. We'll talk about life stuff. We'll talk about regular stuff. We'll talk about business. We talk about everything, and we're close in that way. But I'm also not glued to my phone. I don't ever keep notifications on because I am so like, here's my team, like here's my phone number. Let's work closely together. That's how I work with my people. And my sponsor coach told me that this wasn't a good idea because when I get a really big team, it's going to be hard to have that many texts. And I said, you know what? I don't care because I turn my notifications off. When I'm going to talk to my people, I look at my phone, but I'm not like it bings and I'm like, oh, like I don't hear anything. It's all off. So I don't think that's a problem, but it's totally personal preference. You could just use Messenger. I just feel like I want them to know I'm there for them as a person too. Like obviously I'm not someone you can dump on. And if I have someone that tries to dump on me and they just want to complain to me, I'll be like, no, stop. What do you know? Like I'll tell them like, you can't do that to me. It's not fair. I'll be honest. But yeah, I mean, I think the relationship building is the most important part. And you can connect wherever you want, but the thing about this business is that it's not, you guys all know this, but it's not employee-employer. And so I know you said the megaphone thing, and to me that sounds like a boss, and I don't want anyone barking stuff at me, and I know that's not what you mean. You're just like, oh my God, I'm awesome. Let's do this, and I did that too. And so I started changing my lingo in my team page from you guys, I to just we. I say we about everything. Even if it doesn't apply to me, I'm like, we need to work on this. Because I always will put it on me. And I'm like, so, I will tell my team, I've been doing this like really lazy workout posts and all I've been doing is posting my workout and talking about fitness and stuff and no one cares. So like, we need to work on this. I literally say us, we, together, team. I'm never like I and you guys, because then that separates us. And I don't like that because that doesn't feel good to me. And I've had people do that to me. I'm like, because then it kind of creates that resistance. And then they, I don't know why when people sign up with coaches, it's cool because we were like, we tell them something and then some other person tells them and they're like, oh my God, and it makes like, they're like, oh, and you're like, I've been saying that for the past like 5 years, that's just how it is. I feel like it's because of that old employee mindset that they all of a sudden view us as like a boss. So I think if we just like get off of that pedestal, and I always share my failures. I'm like, went down in rank today. Whew. Like I always share stuff like that. That way they know that I'm not sitting here just being, like whatever that word is for being a bossy coach. I mean, if that makes sense. So it's just kind of changed the way like I talk to people and then something fun someone did in my page the other day was like, where are you from? What state? And then they created like a poll and everyone got to put like where they were from. And then people were like, oh my God, I live in California too. I didn't know you did. And then it created people to like talking. So it's like those little icebreaker things that like when you start a new job and they make you do and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't care about these people. But like, or is it just me? No, but in coaching, it's different because we do care about these people. So icebreaker games are totally perfect for the team page and you can do them anytime. And my team loves that stuff. They want to like click buttons and do polls and they want to, like the other day I was like, how do you express your creativity? And I posted it in my wellness group. Actually, all my team is in my wellness group. I was like, do you take photos? Do you listen to music? Do you create art? How do you express yourself? Add something if it's not there. And everyone voted. And it was just really cool to see people. And then you see the people you didn't expect, click buttons. And then everyone started talking like, oh, I do music. Oh my gosh, me too. So it's just creating that environment for people to make connections rather than just being like business, because business is cool, but it's not going anywhere. And everyone has access, like I said, to all the trainings everywhere. It's nothing new. I mean, we could try to recreate it as many times as we want, but like the relationship stuff is where it's going to be money.
I love it. So Gresham says, how do you keep adding new people to your following so that you are always having new conversations?
See, that's another part where I'm transitioning. I did so much connecting and adding and following new people in the beginning of my business for like the first 2 years that I was actually overwhelmed to the point where I didn't even have time to talk to anyone because I had like messages and messages and messages and messages. So right now I'm trying to change everything. So right now I'm looking on Instagram for people. When I see someone and I'm like, oh my gosh, I like her, she'd make a great coach, I will just message her and be like, hey, by the way, I think this about you. And then start creating that relationship. I don't really add people to Facebook anymore right now. I just accept everyone, all the girls, their friend requests anyways. So I don't really have a good answer for that because I'm definitely changing my, I mean, like Mary said, I'm obsessed with attraction marketing. So like, I don't need to go find people. I'm constantly getting people that come to me, but only because of I'm pushing out stuff about my life and my content and constantly just like being real and in their face and always there and consistently showing up. And people know I'm not going anywhere. And I always have those call to actions in my posts. So people, I hit them with that all the time. So I feel like an asshole saying that, like, I don't have to message people, but, I mean, I should obviously, duh, but, Mary, help.
Again, well, I was going to say if that, it's one of those things where if it's working, that's what you keep doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's working. That's what you keep doing. So I think that's totally fair to say that.
No, I like that answer because I think sometimes I get stuck in the, I should be inviting more. Well, no, I really should just be freaking sharing my life more for the attraction marketing, then hit them with the calls to action in the real life. So the attraction marketing is always there. And yeah, because I used to do so many messages too, I could never keep up with everybody. And I'd be like, I just lost like 20 effing people so no, I love that answer because I feel if you're really putting your true self out there to help people, there's going to be attraction marketing, and you can be intentional about your hashtags, your pictures, and all that other stuff instead of just, I never did Hey Girls, but Hey Girls used to be like the way to like do things. So no, I love that answer. Just had to tell you that because I think we all need to hear that sometimes. It's not send out 50 invites and have crappy posts because they're going to go to your post and be like, well, who the hell is she? So thanks.
Yeah. And I didn't do the Hey Girls ever either. I feel very fortunate to be very interested in photography and just like finding, that vibe to where people actually want to see what I'm doing. But I've always had that mindset with like when someone does something, I'm like, how can I do this and how can I make it me? And I think on it, I know there's a lot of impulse posting too. Like when we got the Success Club backpacks, everyone was like, backpack. And I was like, cool, but sometimes it's little things like that make all the difference. I didn't even share about that until like, I don't know, a few months later. And I used it when we went on a trip and I was like, how cool is it that they totally sent me a backpack for like crushing my goals, and I'm going on this trip and here I have this backpack that my laptop fits in, which is like my mobile office right here on my back. And now I'm going to go work in the truck, whatever. Like, I think it's things like that we don't think about. We get impulsive because we see everyone else doing something. We're like, oh, we got to do it right now. But we don't.
Such a great point. You're so awesome. Okay, so I think that was all the questions that we had, and we have taken up enough of your time today. Thank you so much. I just wanted to share with you guys that my favorite thing that she said today, and I don't even know that you knew you said it, but you said, we deserve the life we're working for. That was so profound to me. It's so true because that's the work that we're doing, and we deserve exactly what those consequences are, good or bad. Right? So we deserve the life that we're working for. So thank you so much for that. I took a bunch of notes and I'm super, super excited. I hope you guys got a lot out of it too. So